The content discussed in this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and should not be construed as financial or mortgage advice. Always consult with a licensed professional before making any decisions regarding mortgages or financial matters.
Welcome to the Canadian Mortgage Show. Here are mortgage professionals Alex Pang and Alex Shanks to cut through the BS and educate Canadians on all things mortgages and real estate.
So growing up, my parents are both divorced and I grew up in a broken household. 5 years into my business, I found it really fulfilling helping one of my clients who was going through divorce. And after I helped him, I was like, this is what I want to do. I love helping people get a fresh start.
This is episode 46. Alex Pang here alongside my co-host Alex Shanks. Alex, we have a special guest today. We have Victoria Fung from Oakwyn Realty Northwest. Now, Victoria is a second-generation realtor born and raised in Burnaby. Her path to the industry was unconventional, to say the least. Before she got into real estate, she was a professional Muay Thai fighter. We're going to talk about that. She combines her competitive spirit.
Victoria, that's it. It's like no clients are going to complain anything to you. No one's going to let you. No one gets away with anything.
I try to
don't mess with Victoria here.
Skills and be a bodyguard at the same time.
Okay, let me finish the read here. She combines her competitive spirit with her holistic approach to serve her clients. Now, with over 10 years of experience in the industry, she specializes in divorce sales and downsizers. Victoria, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm really grateful that you guys invited me.
Thank you so much for being here, Victoria. You can give Alex when you see him next time. You can give him a Muay Thai kick for cutting.
No, I'll be like, nope, I surrender. Just have what you want. Take my wallet. Yeah. So tell us about Muay Thai fighting. Like, tell us the history. Like, what got you into that and all that stuff. How long you been doing it?
So I don't do it anymore, but I fell in love with it by accident. I was going to school at SFE for accounting, and to be honest, I hated it. I was very rebellious growing up. And I went to Thailand with an ex-boyfriend. We did Muay Thai there, and I just fell in love. It was pure passion, pure feel. I just kind of ran with it, and I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. So I went back home, sorted some things out, ended up moving to Thailand. Eventually, it got sponsored out there. I never competed here. I trained very little here. So after, I think, living there 3.5 months, I had my first pro fight, shin on shin. And in my first fight, I peed a little bit. I was so nervous. Yeah, just a little bit. And yeah, it's really thrilling. Like, I don't even recognize that myself anymore, of that side of me anymore.
Yeah, it's hilarious to see that.
Yeah, and I just kind of ran with it. I lived there for 3.5 years. It was never about hurting other people. It was more so my personal journey, getting to know myself. Clearly, I have a extremely obsessive personality. But yeah, I didn't realize it at the time, but it was learning how to deal with high stress, with high risk, high reward. Yeah, it was like my university in a lot of ways. And the only person that supported, like, understood what I was going through was my dad. Everyone else is like, what are you doing with your life? You're fighting for $300. It's nothing. Barely gets by living in Thailand. But it's interesting what life does to you, because it just throws something in your path, and if you're ready for it, you just take the opportunity and you can grow from it.
Oh, and that's where Victoria, where in Thailand did you were you mainly training and fighting then?
In Phuket.
Phuket, nice, amazing. That's I would say, talking about mortgages or real estate, like, it is some of the most stressful environment every day. Like, we have to deal with people that are high anxious, like they're worried, that stuff. And I mean, having that, like, you're going toe to toe with someone about to punch you in the face, I would say, like, you're probably very easy to navigate that stress.
I try to be. And it's in our line of business too. It's super competitive.
Yep. Totally. And I would say it's kind of funny. I see lots of, for one, like, mortgage brokers and realtors, I do find a lot of them like go towards like either like jujitsu or Muay Thai. And I think it is a stress reliever and everything. And I really like got into jujitsu for a while. It's almost like a puzzle, like it's playing chess. There's a puzzle to it. And for us on the mortgage side, like, we get one thing, oh, that's going to change it. And it's just using that brain, but getting you to use your muscles.
Yes, yes.
Would you say like mixed martial arts is it's a lot like other than the violent part of it, it's a lot like what Alex says, chess are very strategic, like very kind of like this is what my opponent is giving me, so this is what I'm gonna go after kind of thing, like exploiting opponent's weaknesses and such.
Yes, reading rooms, and just being very disciplined as well too. I think in our industry, you have to be disciplined. You have to have grit, because if you don't have good systems in place, a good schedule, how are you gonna generate leads, keep those leads, and funnel them into your business?
Yeah, I think anyone that does that I've ever seen that is anyway like tied to any type of fighting thing is they have a bit of OCD in them. Like they are like you are very diligent of how you do things, and because you have to train sometimes 6 hours a day, and that's all you do. Where business owners that don't have that, they're like, oh, I'm gonna work on my business for 1 hour today. Like, well, no, like you need to work on it for 8 hours. Like that's how you build a business.
Hmm. It's also about balance too, because I have that obsessive personality where it's like maybe I train a little too much, where I need to really focus on my business or my personal life too, and just try to have balance for everything.
I struggle with that on a daily basis there, Victoria. I've got 2 kids, life and everything, and it's easy to get sucked into work. We have our phones nowadays, like people are calling, and that's yeah, trying to find that nice balance where I think having a bit of that OCD is sometimes bad because it does focus you so much, but then you're not thinking about everything else.
Hmm.
I have one last question about Muay Thai before the reason why we brought you on. It's not to talk about Muay Thai. How many professional matches did you do? Like, and what was your record?
So I had 25 fights. I had, I think 22, no, 23 in Thailand and then 2 in Vancouver. And then won 20 of them and then had 2 draws and then the rest were losses.
Any knockout losses on either like for you, like getting knocked out or knocking other people out?
I never got knocked out. And I think also because I was fighting at 105 pounds, I'm tiny. But I did knock girls out like through knees. So like
Yep.
I think probably through the gut or liver shots. Yeah.
That's all right. No, I'm not gonna mess with Victoria on the street.
So like, do you follow UFC currently? Like, sorry, this interview has gone off to the UFC interview. MMA.
Yeah, I do follow UFC, just the main cards. They have so many cards, so I only watch the main ones.
So crazy now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insane. I don't even know all the people anymore because it's just so there's too many of them.
Hmm. Exactly. And I also don't want to be overconsumed with just fighting. Uh,
Totally. Well, let's jump into actual real estate stuff here. We kind of wanted to talk, Victoria, about some national stuff. Obviously, you're located in the Vancouver and Burnaby area, but let's first just kind of talk about some things that we're seeing that is going to affect the mortgage side and see what your take is on the real estate. And the big one that we did get is in June, the job reports came out and we've added more jobs. So that number is again making it lean more that like the Bank of Canada is not going to be able to cut. And what's your take on that, Alex, yourself?
US is gonna they're saying they're gonna probably hold for now. Like they see signs of weakening, but not enough to do anything. And I think we're now back to the point where we're gonna follow in line historically with what the US is doing. Like we've already dropped enough departing from what the US is. I think we're now lined up with them now. So once the US starts cutting, then we'll start cutting. My guess is it may be like September when that happens.
Yeah. And I mean, we got the inflation report as well, not really seeing drops there. And that's just where, yeah, like, and to me, any chance of a July 30th cut, it was already so rare. It's like, it's gone. And like, what is the buyer sentiment out there, Victoria, for people looking at buying right now?
Buyers are taking their sweet time. They have a lot of options. They're very patient on what home they will want to write on. They want to make sure that it checks everything on the list. If there's one red flag, then they'll just pass on it. They know that time is on their side. And buyers that are writing, they're trying to get a deal. And they should be trying to get a deal. I would be doing the same. We haven't had this kind of market in how long? How many years has it been?
Yeah. And it's different.
12
Like,
years maybe.
I'm on the island there, Victoria, and I mean we still have bidding wars where I'm at and stuff. Like there's not enough, and we're like our prices are still going up. It's obviously different in every area that way, but it's nice that there's more options for people like that. That is the nice thing finally of like, hey, it's not I just have to buy this place because I don't want to miss out on a place.
Hmm. And I think like you made a good point. If there's not enough supply, then prices are steady, or you occasionally see the bidding wars. But places with a lot of inventory, big hubs, people have options.
Yeah, especially like they always say, "Oh, we have a lot of supply and prices going down." So, but why aren't people buying? We have to have the right supply. I mean, during the heydays, builders were building all these like dog crate condos in the sky because they were making money. These 400 square foot condos that they just end up being Airbnb-ing. And well, the Airbnb, that gravy train stopped because the governments, I think Ontario too, but BC said no more Airbnbs, which contributed to the housing problem. Are you seeing anything on the pre-sale side, like developers or from sales centers and stuff?
Oh,
Is it deader than a doornail?
yeah, pre-sales are pretty dead. I think consumers are pretty educated that they know that they're paying a premium on a new build. Luckily, we have the GST rebate. However, I think that was just a band-aid. It doesn't really do much because the market was already dead. And also the build quality for new builds, unfortunately, most of the time are poor. You hear stories of, like, say, a condo getting their occupancy permits and then they have a flood shortly after. Like, that should not be happening for a new build. It's a joke.
Yeah. Yeah, that's they're trying to build them for one super quickly. And not even I think we still are actually slow, but like just not with good labor. They're trying to pay people $17 an hour. And what's I've seen on the news like the curve building that's now not going to be getting completed. What's that was by a bigger development, was it not?
I'm not exactly sure which building you're
There's
referring to.
do you know again I don't know all that much downtown, but the curve building, do you know that one, Alex? Like it was meant to
Yeah,
be like for luxury.
yeah, it's slated to be one of the tallest towers in Vancouver. But yep, because just the sign of the times where pre-sales are dead, no one's buying nothing, especially when they're selling it for what, 1200 a square foot. But the comparative one across the street that's maybe a couple years old going for 950. Like even as an advisor, like as a general public, why would you buy something new that's already priced ahead when the value is like 10-20% less across the street? That's exactly a sign of the times where developments are failing and more like stuff are going to receivership.
Uh,
No, exactly.
Developments are failing, but I think people don't realize city fees have increased significantly, and BC Hydro has too. Land is more expensive. The developer still wants to make, what, 20% profit. So there is justification on where they get these prices from.
Yeah, and that's we talked about that last week. I mean, the government has talked about like reducing like the amount of time they have to pay these fees. But again, it's like, well, that's just a band-aid fix of like, okay, hey, if you do this right now, we'll give you a discount, but we're coming back for the money after. And it's like, no one's going to take that and be like, okay, I'll build now because of that.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. It's great that they recognize that the obstacle to get in is the the development cost, but by deferring it, it's like thank you for the sentiment. How about lowering it? Lowering the fees like Mississauga and Vaughan, Ontario, like create a model like Walmart or Costco where you're not going to get as much as you used to because municipalities have been drunk by tax dollars and and create that effect where you're bringing down the fees so you can get more volume, more action. Because right now it's just a glut. Nothing's happening.
That's where like, I mean, we always come like people always find it funny here. Like the US property taxes are so much higher than ours. And that's where, again, the city's going to have to get money from somewhere. And they've never come after people's property taxes because they don't want to upset people. But like, I think that's like, other than if they somehow were able to get a bunch more people in, which I don't think we have enough room to do that, like property taxes are going to have to go up. Like that's the only way for them to cut their budgets elsewhere. I mean, they could stop giving themselves raises. That might work as well. But I don't really know how else they're going to get their funds to do what they're trying to do. Either it's got to be development fees, or they got to do increased property taxes. And they've always shied away from that to try and keep people happy. And so they
Yeah.
do it to the developers and the developers do it to us.
Well, also, where's the money going?
Yeah,
Right?
that's,
They
I
don't know
mean,
how to spend.
that would be nice to have a better idea of where our money's going for sure.
Mhm.
Or on the other token, sorry to veer off track here, but like instead of raising taxes, they're probably going to have to be forced to reduce services, because they can't they're stuck in a rock and a hard place. But
But I mean,
that's a
I
discussion
believe
for another day.
I believe our services have already gotten like worse and worse. Like I don't really know how more can we cut stuff. I mean, maybe again they're probably using funds in the wrong way, but like we cut services. I mean, like I feel like we're going to go to a third world country here. Like our roads don't even get taken care of anymore.
Yeah. So, Victoria, why don't you tell us like how like your transition into real estate, like from Muay Thai, did you just jump right into real estate? Did you have a family member? Like what got you into the real estate industry?
So when I was in Thailand towards the end of my 3.5 years there, I knew I had to come back to reality. So I ended up moving back. I originally wanted to become a physiotherapist because I love fitness, I love helping people, but all my university credits were invalid. So I went to Langara for a little bit, just trying to figure things out. Maybe I was getting a kin degree. And then my dad, who's a realtor, so he's still a realtor, I think for almost 40 years now, he suggested try real estate again. He's been trying to get me to become a realtor since I was 19. And I was like, okay, let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens. And yeah, after I got my license, there was no turning back. I did a lot of groundwork, like things that people don't expect. I did a lot of door knocking. Not that I really wanted to, but it helped me develop a thick skin. Yeah, and it just kind of just where I am today.
Nice. And then do you like Victoria, do you and your dad like do stuff together or like is your dad separate? You like how does your guys' business work that way?
So we are separate. I'm not even from the same brokerage as him. He is a part owner of Royal Pacific, and he's also a managing broker. I call that the retired seat.
Does he want you over there, but you're like, hey, I want to be over there? How's that family dynamic work?
Oh, he's like whatever opportunity that you think is right for you, go for it. He's extremely supportive. He knows that I don't think a brokerage will make a realtor at the end of the day, but I wanted to ensure that the office that I'm with aligns with who I am as a person. And I met the managing broker, Jenny Woon from Oakwyn Realty Northwest. She's an owner broker too. We really connected. Yeah, and that's how I got into Oakwyn.
Nice. That's one thing I would say, and I don't know if you have this, Alex. Like I find we're kind of on islands. Like we do so much stuff from at home. We get to work. Like I think the camaraderie between realtors, like directly at your guys' like offices, is so much better than mortgages. And I mean, I don't know if it's competition. I don't know if mortgage brokers don't want to talk and share stuff, but I do find like the camaraderie between realtors is better than mortgage brokers.
Mm, I disagree with that because some realtors are competitive, and
True,
you're
and
a lone wolf. It really depends on the brokerage culture, I think.
exactly, and that's for sure. Like that's what I mean that way. If you can find that brokerage, and like I just see where I'm at, like they're all most of the realtors are all doing stuff together. Like it is like their second family.
Oh, nice.
Now, interesting here. You specialize in divorce sales. How did most people shy away from getting into situations that are tumultuous and adversarial? What made you specialize in that area?
So growing up, my parents are both divorced, and I grew up in a broken household. I never truly had a place to call home. I've gone through a lot of trauma as a kid as well, and just I think maybe 5 years into my business, I found it really fulfilling helping one of my clients who was going through divorce. And after I helped him, I was like, this is what I want to do. I love helping people get a fresh start. And I see that people who go through divorce, they get broken as individuals, but I want them to know that you you can thrive after it. That's the best time of your life. You can take that experience. Yes, it's bad, but you can be the best version of yourself and really learn from it. But you just need a little bit of guidance and care.
I'm going to tell you this, Victoria, that is because you're used to getting punched in the face and you know that there's a brighter spot on the other side. That's a lot of people have a hard time understanding that. And I would say like that's great that you now get to help coach people that.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Now, like during COVID, um, where people were stuck at home, people were kind of like climbing over each other. We saw that like divorce and separation rates kind of go up during COVID times during lockdown. Did you notice that more too in your business? Like you were getting more of those kind of separations at all in your business?
No, I haven't noticed a big uptake because I think couples are, it's 50% of people get divorced. So it's pretty high that you'll run into someone who's going through a divorce sale.
What are you seeing in the local market today? Like, is it a good time to buy? Is it a good time to sell? Well, like, what are you seeing from a seller and a buyer's perspective?
So as a buyer, I think it's a great time to buy, especially if you're trying to get into the condo market. You have so many options. And if you like, you don't get one condo, you can try the other to see someone trying to find a seller who's under distress because they are out there, and it's worthwhile to shop around. And I think also depending on the area, there are a lot of detached homes as well, townhouses, and I'm kind of curious how long this opportunity is going to last for. You have seen prices come down as well. And as a seller, what I tell them, yes, it's the timing of the market is not the best, but there's a reason why people have to sell. So it's important that your home shows well, you fix things around the house, and that it's priced sharply. Because if it's overpriced, buyers know, they're quite educated. They do a lot of research online.
Yeah, and that's where everyone looks at the days on market. Like we know that doesn't matter, but it does. If someone sees something that's been there for 60 days compared to 10 days, like it just mentally, it's like, hey, I'm getting a discount on this. Like that's what people mentally put in their head. And that's where I always find people like, oh, I want to price it high. I'm just going to see. It's like that may go against you because now you're going to have longer till those price cuts.
Yes. And also the foot traffic. You're not finding the right buyer.
Yeah. And that's where you want to have someone that's going to go over those options.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm also finding like most people recognize it's a great time to buy, but some want to time it so well that like, oh, we'll wait till because they're not in a rush. They're like, oh, we'll wait till the market drops even more. We'll wait for more rate cuts. Like, oh, I want to buy at the absolute bottom. And we all know buying homes and even stocks and investments, there's no perfect time. That you can't time the market. It's time in the market, not timing the market. And like all of us are probably going to like yell it from the rooftop, but only so much will listen to us. But when the tide turns and as soon as all of a sudden there's a positive thing in the news, there's an uptick, then everyone's going to jump off the fence and be like, oh, we missed the boat. Well, guess what? We've been telling you this for 3 years. So I don't know.
Like that was like I felt like it was like an early spring is like what kind of got hectic a bit. And I was like, this is what I don't want. Like this is like the yo-yo of stuff. Like it would just be nice if it was like, hey, let's just have a nice, consistent market. People are like ready to go, but everyone's waiting for either a crash or waiting till everyone else is buying.
Yeah, people get FOMO.
Yeah. That's where I myself bought in 2023. I was able to I thought I was going to get a deal. I didn't. I overpaid. My price increased. That was a win for me. I had other clients last year. Everything was good to go. We had to do a bit of a higher interest rate just for them to qualify. They ended up saying no, and it actually worked out better. They've now bought, the rate is lower, and the price came down a little bit. So like you could say that they timed the market perfectly. If I wouldn't have bought when I did, I'd be paying more money. And so that's where there is no guarantee.
Yeah, you can't time the market. It really depends on your own situation.
Exactly. That's where
I have a client who finally bought probably 6 months ago, but I was pre-approving them since 2019 before COVID.
Wow.
So in the Greater Vancouver and the Fraser Valley, at the time, maybe they're looking at a starter home in the area that we live in for maybe 900 to $1 million. For the rest of Canada, it sounds like a lot. In Toronto, Vancouver, that's nothing. So this is before the craziness of COVID, 2019. And then people who take a long time to buy, it's usually two things. It's their budget's here, but their expectations are here. And that they look at 40 places and, it doesn't hit because you either need to lower your expectations or you need to raise your budget. And, sometimes people figure it out quicker. Some others wait too long. So fast forward 5 years past then to today or six, a few months ago, they bought that same house for 1.4. Like, I didn't tell them that, but in the back of my mind is like, you waited too long. Like, you already had a family, you were renting, and like, obviously, people have this analysis paralysis and people think, oh, we're going to wait till it drop. Well, during COVID, it shot up 30-40%. Yes, it's dropped, but it ain't dropping back down to 2019, right? Even CMHC is worried if they can even get the prices back down. So, folks, for you listening out there, you buy when the time is right for you. You don't time the market. You buy when you're sick of renting or you're sick of living in the basement under mom and dad's roof and them meddling in your life or whatever. You're not treating it like a stock. You are living for long term.
That is an investment property. Definitely a different analysis needs to happen. But if it's a place for you to live, like it is not, you're not trying to time the market to get this massive gain. It's like, hey, I want a secure place to live and it works for my budget. Like that's really all that matters.
Yeah. So Vic, I know you're in divorce sales. Do you have any, like, I'm sure you have great stories where things have been very cooperative from both parties. Can you tell us about times where, it's very tumultuous, it's very combative, like how did that work out? Like,
oh, it did definitely get
stories
messy.
that you want to tell us?
Once you have emotions involved. One story where that really stood out is I met an ex-husband. I went to his house and the home was a complete disaster. There was garbage bags all over, clutter everywhere, graffiti from like the kids writing on the walls. And it was heartbreaking because in our initial discovery meeting, he ended up crying. He was still living in the home with his ex-wife, and he actually found her cheating with another man in the home, and they have 2 young kids as well. So it was really heartfelt because it reminded me of growing up in my broken home. Not that my parents cheated on each other, but I really wanted to help him. And I understood that his journey I had to be patient because for him to get top dollar, he would have to clean up everything. And when you're under such emotional distress, it's the last thing that you want to do. So I think I met him in beginning of June, and then I waited 2 months. I would occasionally check in how decluttering and whatnot was coming along. And I think maybe October came around and he's like, oh, I think the home's ready. I came by. It was still a complete mess. Far from show ready. The market was also shifting. So I did something really unconventional. Is very unique in this case because I wanted to ensure that he got top dollar for his house. I put on gloves and I helped him throw away garbage and declutter just to speed up the process.
Wow. Do you find that, of course, doing divorce sales, do you find that you're often more maybe a counselor than a realtor in the process?
Sometimes it really depends on the person. Some people are very private and some people want to let that energy out. And hey, it's better to let it out than keeping it inside, right? And being maybe self-destructive or harmful to others.
Yeah, and it's I mean, the biggest one that we see, like I've been dealing with a lot. I always hate saying like, hey, I'm good at helping navigating the scenarios. It's helping when people have kids and stuff. The hardest thing is if one person wants more than the other, well, it's actually going to negatively affect the other person. And it's like, I really think like a divorce lawyer should have to hire either a mortgage professional to say, hey, what is each person going to qualify for? How do we make sure that they each get a secure home? Because that, like, when there's kids, like that's really all that matters. But like, if the husband comes after for support payments, if the ex comes after, we have to debt service that. And now the other person may not qualify for anything. And it's like, it's just sad to see when people are like, okay, I'm now living in a 1-bedroom condo just so I can see my kids.
And that happens most of the time because they just can't financially buy anything after a divorce sale. I think it's also important that, well, if you're potentially getting into a divorce and haven't really finalized anything, hiring a financial advisor, understanding what your assets are. So when it comes to the separation agreement, you know what marbles you're trading, because so family lawyers are great, but sometimes they don't understand the financial burden that people will live with. Like I have one client, he said that after he sells the house, he's going to be in debt for 15 years because of child support. And that's heartbreaking to hear.
Yeah. And that's where, yeah, that's, I do find like it needs to be like a full picture, and having, obviously depending on how bad the divorce is, but like having a team around you, and not just the lawyers. Like lawyers are great, but that's all they're doing is just trying to finalize that, not thinking about the future at all.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is,
one of my clients, go on.
no, go first.
Yeah, one of my clients, it was a divorce sale, and he's gonna have to make child support payments going forward. And he was even asking me like, yeah, I'm gonna, talk to you again about seeing what I can buy down the line. In the meantime, I have to live, in my parents' basement. And I don't even know if this is a thing, but I'm like, knowing that he's gonna have to pay $1,500 a month in child support, I'm like, shoot, you ain't gonna qualify for nothing. Like, or like with that kind of payment, because that essentially reduces what you can borrow by like 300 grand. So I was even like, obviously I'm not a lawyer, but I was even like, is there a way maybe you could just buy her out and not have the payments and just do the lump sum and just take it from the proceeds from the sale and be like, okay, instead of $1,500 a month times whatever, 5 years or something, can I just give you 100 grand now? And that way he wipes the slate clean, he gets less money, but that monthly liability doesn't hurt him to move on with his future. Like, I don't even know if that's a thing, but I guess so. It's all the next game, I guess.
That's what I've done with some, is like sat in the middle and say, hey, instead of doing like the monthly payments, there's enough funds. Can we do a buy? Like just give the funds up front, and that's 100% works that way.
Yeah, everything is negotiable. It really depends on what each party wants.
Yeah.
Well, of course, obviously the biggest thing with a separation is it just doesn't happen amicably. Oftentimes there's infidelity, and then the party that's the victim wants to hurt the other person. Like, you screwed me over, I'm going to go after you for everything you got, that kind of thing. And that's where us as advisors, we get caught in the middle. We're like, we want to help them, but you guys kind of have to figure out where you draw your line and what it is.
Yeah.
So we can help
briefly helping. We can sometimes get rate exceptions with different banks we deal with and everything. And I'm helping a couple go through a separation, and I had to tell the bank, like, we need to make sure that the interest rates are near identical. One mortgage is bigger. I'd rather the guy have a higher rate, because the wife, if the ex saw that he got a lower rate, she would just lose it. I'm like, we need to make sure that these match.
Yeah, a couple of situations I had where we had to do spousal buyouts, where one of the spouse wants to buy out the other from the property, but they couldn't qualify on their own. So we had to bring mom and dad into the big picture to co-sign to be able to buy out the ex. So in those situations, like, yeah, I guess mom and dad need to help, but may not have mom and dad all the time. Like, that situation may not be available, so they'd be forced to sell, and that's when.
And that's where it's again having that stuff looked up front so that they know. I had clients that were selling a property. That was the first thing that when they talked to me, it's like, okay, you guys are gonna go buy. At the end of it, they're actually keeping the house. The person's gonna buy them out. The realtor that spent $7,000 on marketing, everything, and now it's not being sold. And like, hey, like they're happy with that because the family's happy, but it's like, this all could have been stopped if we would have looked at everything up front.
I also tell people, if you're in a relationship and you buy a property together, get a cohabitation agreement.
100%. That's
be preventative. Don't let people change, right? People get divorced for different reasons, but at least if you start off on that foot, it's more transparent, less fight. I know a lot of people say, oh, but we're going to get in a fight because of that. I actually think if you truly love someone and if you're in it for the relationship, not for the assets, it shouldn't be a problem. Like, if my boyfriend said that, hey, sign a cohabitation agreement, no problem. The only thing is, if there's kids involved, then it's a little bit different story.
that's where like, especially when we get gifts like from families and stuff, and let's say, Victoria, you're going to go buy with your boyfriend, but your family's giving you a massive gift. Like that's the most important thing to protect is like, hey, Victoria's getting this. If they have to sell the place, she gets her 100,000 from it. Anything else from there split 50-50. And that's, I even make sure that we do cohabs for parents that are co-signing to make sure that the parents understand that they're protected and everything as well that way.
Yeah, it's a good way to have a paper trail.
Exactly. Just I always tell people I looked at potentially building a house with my family. We met with lawyers talking about, well, what if we want the fence here? What if you need to sell? What like if you don't talk about it up front, that's where issues come up because you're not talking about it. And I bet you if you probably looked at people, maybe not prenubs, but cohabitations, I'd be interested to know people that actually do it. I wonder if they're less likely to get divorced. Like people that have bought and done it, it would be an interesting stat to see. Prenubs are a funny one because I think like most just ultra wealthy use them and they have a lot of divorces. So we know that those don't really work, I don't think.
Well, even in multi-generational homes, it's common you want to have written documentation because families can fight too.
I'm seeing right now, it's not like a divorce, but it's lots of friends that bought places together because they couldn't afford by themselves. And now they're ready to potentially sell or one person buy out. And it's still, I've told them like, hey, treat this like a divorce. Like you want to make sure that you have a lawyer. Each of you have a lawyer. You want to talk to different realtors of like, what could the home sell for? You're not just going to use one that you maybe both like. Find a couple different ones, figure out what the price is because you guys are agreeing on that. Like you have to agree on a price. And now you can't go backwards.
Yeah, so like it's almost like when you have that cohab agreement, it's almost like you already have the exit strategy in mind, but that's not like you're torpedoing the relationship. But
No.
if things go sour, you need to have like like what's involved, so everyone knows what they're going into it.
Yeah, that's where some people are bringing more money, or like, hey, maybe one person has no income, maybe they're not working. It's like, well, maybe one person does a bunch of work to the house. Like it is like want to make sure that it is fair.
Shanks, any closing questions or remarks?
No, it was great to connect with you there, Victoria. And I will watch out for you on the street if I see you. I'm not gonna say anything bad to you, so you don't give me a kick.
I'll make
But
sure to give you a nice head kick.
yeah, exactly. Now let's see how high. I'm 6'7". Can you kick that high?
Oh, definitely not. So you know what?
Ah,
I'll throw a calf kick.
there we go. I'm safe. Oh, that's you. You kick me in the calf, and then I'll go down.
Yeah. And then I'll choke you out after.
One thing,
Yeah.
one thing, Vic, did you experience like, I think a lot of like the fighters and the boxers, they experience like over a lifetime, they've experienced CTE and brain injuries and stuff like that. Was that part of your decision in leaving as well as the monetary, risk of, long-term injury down the line?
No, I think I was ready just to close that chapter and get back to reality. I was really boring in Thailand. I know people go there to party, but all I did was eat, sleep, train, fight. And I was like, okay, I need to get my shit
Yeah.
together and come back to Vancouver, and have a enjoy life and live life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think everyone gets like Thailand's amazing. I've been there and it's like, it's great for a short, like for a time, but like to live there, I think, yeah, you get really into a mundane lifestyle
Well, I know some people who are still there for over 15 years. So
and just fighting and training. Like that's just all they do.
it really depends on the individual. Some people work out there as well instead of relying solely on fighting. But I think it's a place where people run away from their problems versus kind of, yeah, because I was rebellious growing up, I was lost. And I was like, okay, I found myself. I need to get back to reality. But some people, if they're not willing to face that side of themselves. They just end up staying there and they get older and what's going to happen? Right.
Yeah, they can't go back here because they wouldn't be able to afford it anyways.
Exactly.
Funny you say that, running away from problems. The most recent season of The White Lotus was in Thailand.
Yes.
And we have characters for the exact reason, run away from the law, changing their identities and all that stuff. I'm like, yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait. I'm waiting for my youngest to be about 5, but we stayed in Chiang Mai during like Songkran, and it was the best thing ever. And so yeah, we definitely want to go back there with them and stuff to do that again.
Mm-hmm. Definitely recommend checking out the beaches because Chiang Mai is more mountain regions.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
But I know that it's changed a lot since I've been there. It was the area that I lived in before was less touristy. Now, apparently, it's a gong show.
Yeah, that's where we spent time on Koh Samui and Koh Tao. We never actually went to Phuket side, and that's where it was like we wanted some of that smaller time because when we went there, it was a party town.
Hmm. Or can be certain areas, yes, like Patong. Yeah.
Totally.
All right, folks. This about wraps it up. Victoria, for folks listening out there, where can they find you?
My Instagram is Victoria Fung Homes, and my Facebook is as well. My website is victoriafung.ca. Yeah. And if you just Google
Sounds good.
Victoria Fung, I'm sure I pop up as well.
Sounds good. Well, this has been Victoria Fung from Oakwyn Realty Northwest, Muay Thai fighter, divorce sales specialist, and overall badass. Thank you, Victoria, for joining us.
Thanks a lot, Victoria.
Guys.
Now, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to like and subscribe. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple, make sure to follow us. Please give us a 5-star rating. You can even send us an email because we want to know what you guys want to hear about. That's what we're here for. Reach out anytime.